Hello, everybody. Welcome to La Liga Talk. We are live here on TopFCRadio.com. Thank you. Thank you once again for listening, watching, just being in contact, being live here on TopFCRadio.com. I want to thank everybody that has been active on the radio station. We are, always going strong, going hard. And with all the news, all the trending topics, all your top stories in the football, in the soccer world right now with La Liga Talk. Hey, I want to say something because we're gonna talk about first 30 minutes. We're gonna talk the whole episode, obviously 30 minutes. We're gonna talk about Rubiales and Piers Morgan. We're gonna talk about all that stuff and how everything has unfolded. Also, some Barcelona news, some Lewandowski news, some Ilkay Gundogan injury news, some Real Madrid news as well, as they after the break they're going to face Real Sociedad, and it's going to be really good for that. And also Ronald Araujo and Pedri, we got updates when it comes to those Barcelona players as well. And at the end, more Barcelona news as they face more financial trouble, and we're gonna be talking about that. And of course, we're gonna have a couple more nuggets, quiet stuff right now for Real Madrid. But let's start talking about this Piers Morgan situation and how it is unfolding. It is unfortunate. Um, it is troublesome. To some people, it is. You know, the way this whole thing has unfolded. We had Laurent Cortines, of course, when we were doing um, football tonight. We've had his views on this situation, and certainly it wasn't cool. It wasn't necessarily what we. Um, Laurent is full of hot takes. He is full of hot takes, and of course, on this one, n- you know, nothing was going to nothing was going to change that, right? Nothing was going to change that. He was going to go hard in the paint. He was going to um, tell what he thinks, and he basically said it. He said it. This guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot, and he needs to be punished for that. So he said he's glad he's out. He's glad he's gone. And you can also, of course, rewatch or re-listen to that episode, to that show on demand on topfcradio.com, or you can go to your favorite listening platforms and enjoy that episode. Again, that was that was something that was happening there. Now, let's keep in mind. Let's keep one thing in mind. Rubiales, I'm not. He's not a favorite of mine by any means. He's not somebody that I really care for after everything that unfolded with the national team. That's the bottom line. He did do some good things for the Spanish Federation. We do have to admit that. However, obviously, I believe that he is well being fired. That's just the honest truth. He needed to be, well, he can't get fired. He couldn't get fired technically. There's some minor small letter situation when it comes to contracts for presidents. Of course, they get voted in. They can't just get fired, but they can force his way out, which is kind of what happened here. And of course, he said it. He was like, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of getting forced to quit. And I don't know how exactly I feel about that. At the end of the day, he made his bed. He's got the lay on it, right? What I do have an issue, kind of, sorta, is, I know I'm being picky right here, but him going to Piers Morgan and going to an English channel, English pundit or English journalist, and going out and saying this stuff to him. I do find it a little bit weird because ultimately he offended, in my eyes, the Spanish women's team, the Spanish people, and of course this is also a worldwide situation. Don't get me wrong. I think it has a lot to do with that. So I do I do get that part of it. He offended those people, therefore he needs to Um, so he needs to apologize for that. That's 100% sure. You can't. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, you would have thought that he would have gone to the women's national team and apologized directly to them. I will admit, I will say one thing. I didn't watch the full interview. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, right? Or it doesn't matter because this guy has been really doing preposterous things since this happened, right? I mean, just the way he handled himself in this whole situation was really, really wrong. I mean, he kissed Hermoso, which he shouldn't have done that, and he was picking up girls, he was putting them on his shoulders, doing all that kind of crap that he shouldn't have been doing, obviously, and then he just kind of dismissed the whole situation when people asked him about it. He didn't care. He didn't care at all about the people's feelings, about the people's what the perception was going to be. And he cursed journalists out. He insulted everybody that questioned his actions. And by the way, we are live on the AMP app, and you can have your say. You can definitely have your say. You can go there and let us know what you're thinking. Okay, on the AMP app, brought to you by Amazon. That is a great app. Just started. You can have your say. And so basically, it was just a lot of situations that unfolded, and it led up to this. Led up to this. I mean, ultimately, his career was going to end. It had to. I mean, he couldn't continue with this. Obviously, right? He couldn't continue being the face of the federation like this. I mean, I think it's an obvious thing. I don't think that it was even questioned that he should stay, keep his job, and all that stuff. I don't think that was part of. I don't think that was going to be an issue. Everybody agreed that he needed to be gone. Everybody agreed upon that. And so, but now he's gone, and he kind of. I mean, it's not like he came out, because I watched the clips of the interview, and it's not like he came out and said, "I'm going to resign. I'm resigning because of this." He ultimately was forced to say it. Piers Morgan asked him, "So are you going to resign?" Or, I'm not trying to quote literally, but something like that, something along those lines. And he said, "Well, yeah, I'm going to have to." And it was kind of like just beating an answer out of someone. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. It almost seemed like he was just forced to do it. And he knows. I mean, obviously, he went to. He said his father was upset, and everybody. So he was tired of seeing his family upset. So he just basically going to quit. Of course, his mom went onto a hunger strike, and she's he's worried about her well-being. I get all that. I mean, I'm not questioning or saying that that's completely wrong, but I will say you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation, right? And that's what I think. But I would like to know your thoughts on this. So please comment. If you're on the YouTube channel, this is probably going to go to the clip section of the radio station. So if you're not following us on YouTube, follow us. You can find us anywhere: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. All you have to do is our handle is at Top FC News. Top FC News, and you can find us on the AMP app as we stream live radio every day. And you can find us on there. Of course, if you want more content about football, soccer, go to topfcradio.com, streaming 24/7. 24/7, you get football, soccer content. If you're on your way to work, if you're on your way to school, you can join us there, and you can definitely have a listen and have your say if we're live, of course, right? Okay, so That's the Rubiales situation. Now, how did Piers Morgan get involved? Of course, Piers Morgan is a top journalist in the Great Britain area, and of course, he's done work in the United States as well. So he is a guy that's known. Of course, he's always been known for you know debating or arguing certain situations against Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, etc. So you got that situation. It's a little bit off the sports section. It's not related to soccer, but we're kind of listing what Piers Morgan has done. Of course, he's worked. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, he's worked in the Daily Mirror or the Daily Mail. One of the two, obviously. It's a left. They're towards the left, but again, it's not about that here. It's about sports. It's about football. It's about soccer. But he is, to me, one of the top journalists in the world, I would say, and always controversial. And he gets on it. He's not scared. And of course, he saw the situation, and he was going to sink his teeth into this one. We already knew about it. Okay, he was gonna, and he obviously made it happen. He made it happen. And of course, right now we have enjoyed. By the way, thank you to everybody that was listening to the radio station today. 213 people listened today live, and that's amazing. Okay, so we got that going. We can't dwell too much time on it. Of course, we only got 30 minutes of the show. If you want more content, please go to topfcradio.com and you can find more information. But this guy is out, and there's nothing else to be done. You can see the clip of what Laurent Cortines had to say about this guy on our TikTok page, Top FC News. You can go on TikTok at Top FC News and see Laurent went hard at him, and he basically said, "Listen, I'm tired of talking about this guy. He's an idiot, a moron, and we just need to move on." It's just upsetting that it took him a month, and he didn't care too much. Just basically took him a month to realize that he needed to go. But let's move on to some other news, some more information. Barcelona forward Robert Lewandowski complains about Xavi's system. And now the Polish national team player is wondering what his next step should be. Now, the question is out there. And is Robert Lewandowski going to stay at Barcelona? Is he going to keep trying to pursue something? I think he is a top player. I mean, let's be honest with each other. He's a top player, right? And he is somebody that when he left Bayern Munich, you knew that it was going to be really tough for him to replicate what he did at Bayern Munich. So many years, he was on the prime of his career, and just basically that was everything, And now, I'm not going to say that he couldn't, replicate. To a certain extent, actually, he has done some of that work, a little bit similar to what he did in Bayern Munich. Of course, he's never going to get to that point because the age and he just doesn't have much time. He doesn't have much time. So, but now in the beginning of the season, which still early in the season, he was questioned about why he wasn't scoring, and I thought it was a little unfair. I thought it was a little unfair, to say the least, because you still got to give him time, right? He's 35 years old. And he needs a little bit of time to get in shape. His wife was asked if they were going to stay, if they were going to leave, and of course, not much came from it. Obviously, Robert is a tremendous striker. Still, in this point in time, Lewandowski still can get the job done. I believe so. I believe he can still get the job done. I believe he can still work hard and make things happen for Barcelona. Not saying that he is, going to score 30, 40 goals per season. He's not going to be a Haaland. Haaland is on his prime. And so we can't compare him to that. Now, whether Barcelona wants to put up with that or they want to get a new striker, well, that's a different talk, right? That's a different debate. But what we know right now is that he is in the club, and well, he has looked a little less agile on and off the ball, is what they are saying in Barcelona. Now, Lewandowski is kind of questioning the type of play that the Xavi is showing. Now, Xavi Hernandez is a coach that is a manager that has a lot of potential. He won La Liga just now. That's a big step from where they were before. That's a big step from where they were before. We have to own up to that. And so now I question whether they, who else he needs to make this work. He has Yamal, a player that's really young, a player with a lot of talent. And we've seen him with Spain scoring, being the youngest guy. The second youngest was Ansu Fati, another guy from Barcelona. So this is what they do, right? They have the talent. They grow these players to be excellent players, and all of a sudden, um, now you got a Lewandowski who's an older guy, kind of not what they have been looking for, in their history. You can say that Thierry Henry came when he was a veteran as well, and he killed it. He killed the Liga. But they got Ferran Torres as well, and so with Ferran Torres in the lineup, you tend to question a little bit what is the next move for for a Barcelona team that in some areas they're getting better. They have a lot of young talent though, and you wonder if Barcelona needs somebody with experience, somebody that can focus, that you don't have to focus on teaching them how to play the game how to be tactical, how to be pragmatic. Even though this is Barcelona and that doesn't exist, you still have to be a little bit of that at a certain point in time. So we're going to see what happens with Lewandowski, right? Now another update will be Ilkay and Gundogan. Apparently, he got injured during a match between Germany and France. By the way, a match that Germany won 2-1, following the sacking of Flick. I'm sorry. And now the German midfielder was forced off against France after suffering an injury. Now the latest update is that he was taken off after suffering a nasty fall. He fell really hard, a battle with Rabiot, and he just basically just moved him in the air. He fell he landed on his lower back. Didn't look good, but I mean, you got to be careful with those, of course, because Neymar actually broke his back by a similar foul, and so you have to be careful. But the manager right now is Rudi Voller for Germany. We know, we think Nagelsmann is going to join the German national team. Don't know for sure yet, so that could take a while. Not necessarily sure, but they have these matches to figure it out, right? And of course, they're going to come play the U.S. in October in Connecticut. So we'll have to figure that out as well on our end. But when it comes to Gundogan, he's a terrific player, terrific, you know, midfielder that Barcelona got. And so now you got to question whether they can get it done without him. I mean, that was a nasty fall he took. Nasty fall in a match against France, So we'll see what happens with that one. Now, if you want to have your say on what's going on, we're going to talk about La Liga. Of course, we're going to go next on the U.S. men's national team, and we're gonna talk about that. But right now, going through some La Liga news right now. So if you want to have your say, you can come on the show and talk to me. My name is Chris Rodriguez. This is Top FC Radio, and we will continue. So thank you to everybody that's listening on AMP, everybody that's listening on the radio station, topfcradio.com, and on the YouTube channel as well. Anywhere, we're at Top FC News. So Okay, let's move on. Real Madrid is going to face Real Sociedad, and that match is going to be a good one. Boy, Jude Bellingham has been on fire. I mean, that guy is unbelievable. He's unbelievable. I mean, the way he's playing with England as well. I mean, you have to say, when you look at this kid, he you have to say in your head, like, he is going to be a Ballon d'Or at some point in time. Now I know that's one hell of a take. I know it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of talent to be that. We have somebody that can win his eighth Ballon d'Or in our league here at the MLS here in the United States, and that is none other than Lionel Messi. We have that guy in our ranks, right? And he could be. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? To have the first guy ever to win a Ballon d'Or here in in the United States in the MLS. That would be amazing. That would be terrific. Okay, so Real Madrid is going to face Real Sociedad, of course, when the international break is over, and it's going to be Sunday, 17th of September, about next week. That's going to be on noon Eastern time, or 3 p.m. Eastern time, and 12 noon Pacific time. And that is Sunday the 17th. So tune out for Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. That should be a good one. Let's have an injury depth update for Barcelona. Not a lot going on for Real Madrid, by the way. Not many news, not much going on with Los Blancos. So more updates, nuggets coming out for Barcelona. Is we have an injury update for you, and it is for Ronald Araujo and Pedri. The pair have been out for a while as Barcelona continue their chasing Real Madrid in La Liga table. And Barcelona have started La Liga, as you've seen, a little bit off. They're the champions right now. They have played Cadiz, Villarreal, Osasuna, and they won those first three matches, they won those three matches that I mentioned, and then drawing against Getafe. So 4 games, 3 wins, and a tie. But I think it comes more with how they have been performing, and also because they have been complaining about how they're getting treated in La Liga by the referees, etc. A lot of people saying that they shouldn't even complain. However, it is what it is at this point, right? All big clubs complain, even though some people think they shouldn't complain ever. So, yeah, when it comes to those players, when will they be back? Well, Barcelona are taking their time with both Pedri and Araujo, and will not rush them back under any circumstances. This is not the first time Pedri has suffered this issue. Not the first time. Last season he was absent for over 2 months with an injury to his right thigh, and as such, Barcelona are taking the utmost care for his recovery this time. Now it seems that the player will be out for around 6 weeks, meaning he could be back sometime in October for some big matches for Barcelona. Now Araujo, when will he be play next? Where Araujo's progress is pretty much working under the same routine as his teammate Pedri, and is expected to be out for around 5 weeks, despite the lack of official confirmation from the club. Now, I was going to say, when is their next match? Their next league game is after an upcoming international break that will be against Real Betis on September 16th, before Real Madrid's match. After that, they make their Champions League debut the 23rd, in the 23rd, 24 edition of the Champions League, I'm sorry. And we'll look to put the European ghosts to bed after their horror show in their continental tournament last season. They played against Antwerp on September 19th. So we'll see how it goes when it comes to Barcelona in the Champions League. Of course, all teams will start with Champions League. And if you want more Champions League information, you can join us on topfcradio.com, or you can follow the podcast Football Tonight, aka Soccer Talk, with myself and Laurent Cortin. And we talk about all top football news. And of course, Champions League is going to be right there on that one. Now Now let's end this episode with more financial trouble for Barcelona. Is President Joan Laporta is liable for 20 million euros, the 20 million euro loan after failed payment from investor to secure La Liga participation. Now I don't really care too much for finances when it comes to football. I'm not really a fan of that, but we will try to kind of explain what's going on here. So, Barcelona faced financial trouble after a key investor failed to produce funds to complete a vital deal, with President Joan Laporta liable for this situation. The sale of Barca Vision is in doubt. Laporta on hook for 20 million euros guarantee. Deal was crucial in securing La Liga license. However, they were not able to do that because the investor pulled out on that offer. After agreeing to acquire a 9.8% stake in Barca Vision last month, the Frankfurt-listed football finance company Libero has failed to produce the funds required to complete the sale. According to the Telegraph, the situation leaves Barca President Laporta in a difficult situation, having provided La Liga with a personal guarantee of 20 million euros, about 17.2 million pounds, or $21 million of the arrangement, which was crucial in securing Barca's league license for the current season. So, yeah, it's kind of iffy what's going on right there. Again, I'm not too savvy when it comes to financial situations. The team of Top FC Radio, Laurent, he is more into that stuff, and he could explain more. But ultimately, is this: somebody was investing in Barca Vision in Barcelona, and they pulled out. They couldn't come up with the money. It's a German company, and they couldn't perform. They couldn't come out. They couldn't put the money, and so therefore now Barcelona. Actually, John Laporta is the one that guaranteed that, meaning he'll have to put up with that. He'll have to put up that money one way or another, which is, unfortunate. I'm sure he has the money. Maybe I'm sure he has the money. I'm sure he gets paid pretty good, but obviously he's not going to. He's not going to want to do that, is he? So, that's what's happening right now. Now let's revamp. Let's go and see if we can find some more nuggets. We still have 3 minutes left on the show. We're gonna jump on. By the way, Inside U.S. Soccer is coming on next, and they have a lot to talk about the U.S. men's national team, about how they're performing, about Lionel Messi, an MLS recap. Everything else is going to be on Inside U.S. Soccer next after La Liga talk. So please stay tuned, stay focused on what's happening over there. Follow us on all social media. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and just follow us everywhere. If you're listening on Spotify, look us up. Look us up on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. We put a lot of the short clips and a lot of extra news on YouTube. You can find us everywhere and anywhere at Top FC News. At Top FC News, you can find us anywhere. That is it for this episode of La Liga Talk. Ladies and gents, my name is Chris Rodriguez. We will see you or hear you next time.